done for. Everyone get out.
Greetings sailors, welcome to a bit of live Warships action, and I'm actually doing this as a live video as opposed to some other kind of video today because there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm also just going to play the Tirpitz while I talk because I need the credits at the moment. So the first thing is Warships generally, and I know not that many people out of all my subs are actually watching the Warships stuff, but there's one thing about doing a channel that I think is particularly important, and that is you have to enjoy what you're doing. And at the moment, I'm enjoying Warships. So if you're particularly fed up with the fact that I'm doing more Warships these days, I don't particularly have good news for you in that regard, because that's probably not going to change as long as I'm enjoying Warships. And I'm playing less tanks because I'm not enjoying tanks as much. You know, it's really that simple. You can force yourself to play stuff you're not enjoying, but I always feel like that's going to show through in the end, and that's going to result in just less good quality stuff appearing on the channel. So that's the first thing. That's a relatively quick one to get out of the way. The second thing is as a result of the channel spotlight I did a couple of days ago. Well, earlier this week. Now, I was a bit disappointed by a couple of comments under that video. And I'm going to come out and say right at the start, I've got a vested interest here because my brother is actually a trans guy. Now, you may have spotted that yes, Fiora is not a cis woman, but you know what? It doesn't actually matter. And some people were just... I get that there's probably a lot of ignorance about the subject out there, but when you get comments that are just plain malicious, well, I did a very rare thing. I basically banned a couple of people from being able to comment on the channel because they were just clearly idiots and had decided to announce to the world that they were idiots. So, yes, I don't reach for that ban option very often, but I think 2 or 3 people, I think one of them was actually a fairly regular commenter as well, so... yeah, I don't care if you're a regular viewer, I don't care if you're a regular commenter. If you're going to say stuff like that, then I really don't want you on my channel. It's that simple. And as I've said, my brother's a trans guy, so I know all too well the amount of crap that trans people have to put up with. And I bet this isn't a topic you were expecting me to go over, but like I said, I have a kind of a personal stake in this almost, because... well, not only my brother, but I've got a couple of friends, I guess I'd say. At least one close friend who is in a slightly confusing place. And at least one person I know through tanks who's also trans. So, yeah, I just... If you don't know what you're talking about, then just don't say anything. And if you're going to be an idiot, then expect to get your ass kicked off my channel, because people don't do that for fun. People don't make that kind of transition for fun. That's not... it just isn't. It's bloody hard work, and the amount of crap that people have to put up with. So, you know, if you want to criticise someone like Fiora who's doing YouTube, you know, if you want to say, I don't like her style, or... you know, you've got criticisms of her play style or specific things she's doing on her channel, you know, whatever, that's fine. You're putting your stuff out publicly like that, and not everyone is going to be 100% fine with everything that you're doing, and I know that firsthand. Not everybody enjoys everything I do on the channel. And some people will go so far as to, you know, they'll sub for a bit and then they'll unsub, and they'll say, well, I don't like that you're doing this specific thing. I had one guy that, I think I'm remembering this correctly, he actually sent a message to say he was unsubscribing, or he put it in a comment because I had used the Lord's name in vain. And you know what? I'm not a particularly religious person, but if that's your reason, if you don't like that sometimes well, it's not like I'm often going for that kind of phraseology, but yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. You don't have to watch if you don't enjoy what I'm doing, but that is one specific thing, though. You don't get to decide how somebody feels. You don't get to decide if somebody is feeling like they're the gender they were born with. That's just, you don't get to have a say. It's just that simple. And you're just going to look like a total idiot if you open your mouth on the subject with any kind of malicious intent, because you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. So, yeah, I accept there's a difference between people speaking with malice and people just speaking out of ignorance, but there were a couple of comments that were clearly meant with malice, and I'm not okay with that on my channel. So, yes, there we go. Second subject out of the way with. Now, the last thing I wanted to really mention was, you'll have noticed that I had a bit of a gap in videos this week, and, well, if you're a longer viewer, you'll know that, I don't know, sometimes I have blips, sometimes there are periods when there aren't so many videos going out, and I could just do more videos like this, where I just sit down and record stuff live, and that is easier to do time-wise, and sometimes it's a time issue, but other times it's because, frankly, I'm just not feeling so great. And yeah, like I said, if you're a longer-term viewer, you may be aware of the fact that I've been a sufferer of depression for a long time, and sometimes, you know, I'm just not feeling funny, and it's hard to be funny or entertaining or whatever on a video when you're just not feeling so great yourself. So that's just a thing I thought I'd mention, because, you know, sometimes it's like the weather. There are good days and bad days, and sometimes you just get a sudden squall out of nowhere, and other times you see the black clouds on the horizon, and it sounds very dramatic, but, you know, I'm mostly okay. Most of the time I'm fine. It's just some days it's like, well, I can try and do a video today, but I know it's not going to be very good just because I'm not feeling particularly great. So, yeah, but it's just, I thought I'd bring it up because, you know, I was talking about other things. I had other topics to talk about. And also, there are probably a whole bunch of people that have subscribed since I actually last made any kind of mention of this. In fact, I think the most I've ever mentioned it in any kind of specific strand of video is probably the Q&D videos, and I don't do those very often. Although we're probably due for another one fairly soon, actually. Oh, that's coming in from that direction. So, yeah, it's like, well, I don't want anyone to get particularly worried. It's just, and I'm aware that more these days with Patreon particularly, that it feels more like I've got kind of a responsibility to get videos out. So I do try and not make the gaps too long, but occasionally it just feels like, well, yeah, I could put out a video today, but it's not going to be a very good video. So I don't know. But I don't know, maybe people won't care. Maybe people will be like, well, some video is better than no video, but I don't know. We'll see what the feedback is about that anyway. So really, that's all I've got to talk about. In fact, I've covered it all already, and I wasn't maybe expecting to have it all covered so quickly, but yeah, I guess we can actually concentrate on the game now. I have played a little bit of Warships already today. You might have noticed in the port I have a Fuso, and that's a pretty new addition. I only got that the other day, and it's not fully upgraded. I used free XP for the second hull and the engine, but the main thing I'm lacking at the moment is credit, so I've only got half the equipment slots filled. And I actually, well, I had a couple of good games yesterday with Conway in the Tirpitz, so that was pretty useful. I probably had like 1 million credits yesterday alone, and that got me the hull and the engine and 2 of the upgrade slots filled. But yeah, once you get to like pieces of equipment that cost 1 million credits a go, then things like a tier 8 premium become very, very useful. But I think that's just the way this game is balanced. They actually, you have to either do a lot more grinding with your non-premium ships, or you get a premium ship like the Tirpitz and get a bunch of credits that way. And it does help that in a Tirpitz game, you know, you have a decent game, you can get 500,000 credits in a go. Or like Conway did a couple of days ago, was it last week? I can't even remember, where he had 1 million credits in a single game. Which was silly. Or was that the game I featured on the channel where he had 1 million credits? It might have been. that was just ridiculous. So yeah, oh, also there's some airdrop torps. So let's, oh, I'm going to avoid these, aren't I? Yes, okay. I'm just going to concentrate this Iowa down. I'm not really paying that much attention to what I'm doing, but we seem to be doing all right in terms of the team. We've got a big group of ships up here, so they're getting fired on from all kinds of directions right now, although I want to be careful not to isolate myself too much. Maybe I should be firing more at the Megami at this point, actually, because he's faster. And, well, we don't want them to cap, basically. But honestly, I'm not sure this enemy team's... Well, they're not providing that much resistance so far, but I don't want to speak too soon. Like, those might be famous last words. Also, let's pop out the spotter plane at this juncture. It's probably a good time for it. So yeah, having a tier 8 premium in this game really helps, and it also helps if you enjoy playing it, as I enjoy playing the Tirpitz. Right, there we go. That IO was down. Turning, sir. Let's put those shots there. So yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what the feedback's like. Probably not all of it positive, but you know what? It's my channel. And anyone that doesn't, you know, agree with things I say, well, you can either shut up or you can open your mouth and I don't know, get banned if I think you're being an idiot. Because it's my channel and I get to do things like that. Ultimate power! Yes, okay. Well, not quite ultimate power, but the power to ban people from making comments under videos. I mean, that's nearly the same thing, right? Actually, I might as well just complete this turn and bring my guns around to bear, which is not nearly so big of a problem in the Tirpitz, just because the turret turns that bit faster. Oh, a Targo! A Targo! Why? Why? Well, it would be an Targo, wouldn't it? I'm going to take at least one of these. Well, that guy was super. Why would you do that? There's nothing within torpedo range. Absolutely nothing. Do people just not understand torpedo ranges? That was incredibly stupid. So, yeah, I don't think that was somebody deliberately trolling, because if it was incredibly inept, but I don't know. That's the downside of tier 8 premiums, is it's Lerva syndrome. Anyone can buy one, so... Yeah, no, that was wonderful. Just getting torped by a teammate randomly, for no apparent reason. Yes. Right, let's see if we can't get some... I mean, we're almost winning at this, so... This is actually going to be a relatively short game, I think. Well, having said relatively short, we're over the 10-minute mark. We're over halfway, but... Oh, come on! Well, I had the range. But RNGs has said nope. So, anyway. Oh, Tirpitz, hello. We might actually get a kill if I get a good series of hits. Let's get the torps round. And, looks like it's turning, so let's drop those there. The Hakiryu's also looking mighty tempting right now. So we'll put my next salvo out against him. Didn't really judge that terribly well, did I? But it's harder to hit people making a turn like that. It's definitely harder. We're also apparently intent on capping when we really don't need to be, but anyway. Let's put a volley out there. I don't want to get too close to the Megami or the Otago just yet. Did we lose somebody? We did. Oh, well, only 3,000. No citadels, alas. I'm going to make another turn here. Can probably kill the Hakiryu. I'm not going to put out a full volley next time, I don't think. I'll save some. The Megami's also lower health than the Otago, but the Otago's closer, so I don't know. Oh, never mind. Let's actually go... let's go for the Otago. My guns are more pointing in that direction. Well, that was a nice series of hits. It is worth, definitely... I'm guessing that was HE, but... There are, even at the higher tiers, some battleships where it's worth firing AP against. Right, he's coming right towards me, probably with the intent of making a torque drop, so let's start turning. Oh, okay, he just got pummeled hard. See, over 60k damage, this hasn't been bad at all. Might be able to squeeze another kill out before this finishes. And boom, there we go.
Enemy cruiser founder.
I may or may not be able to get the rear guns on this guy. Only 30 points left, so we'll see. But yeah, this has been a not a bad game, and that's going to mean it'll have been a profitable game, and that's the main thing I would like at the moment. Because I've had a couple of games in the Fuso. I think I mentioned at the start, actually, I've done the Fuso daily. And I quite like it. It's a nice upgrade over the Congo, definitely. More guns. All of the guns. Not quite as fast, though, but the armour feels better. So, yeah. Oh, come on, turrets! We might get some more shots out. This is literally the last guy. Oh, let's follow them in. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. Oh, one hit. Oh, well. Not going to get another one. Anyway, nearly 70k damage. That's not too shabby. And despite having spent nearly the first half of the thing talking about other things, this was actually a decent game. So, there we go. 350k, not bad. Plus 11k compensation from that genius in the Otago. I don't know which one it was, but what do you want to bet it's the guy in last place. So, yeah, that wasn't bad at all. In fact, that might be enough credits to buy a thing, maybe. So let's see, over 500,000 credits. And maybe I can, there we go, gunfire control system 1, which seems like a pretty useful one to have. So there we are. I've got practically no credits left, but you know, a couple of Tirpitz and maybe a Otago games will soon solve that. So, yes, I will be interested to see what the comments are like under this video. Hopefully I won't have to ban any more people, but you never know. So anyway, yes, if you do have anything constructive to say, you can do so below. Otherwise, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.